something like I really want to say just to motivate people maybe that are scared to be alone or scared to move abroad. Like, because you're scared, one, I think you should do it. And two, it's going to give you the confidence to start trying new things and to do the things that you maybe have the fear of doing. Because when you take responsibility for your life and when you're faced with a challenge and you're like, okay, what do I have to do? And your family is not there to help you, your friends are not there to help you, you have to figure it out on your own. So you gain the skill of problem solving, honestly. And if you're aware while you're doing this, you start applying it in different aspects of your life and you're like, wow, I can do more things that I want. And
Hi everyone, welcome to Secret Diaries of an Expat. It's another episode of sharing stories of these beautiful people I meet while traveling. And today I interview Rawan, and this is my beautiful friend coming from Lebanon. So first of all, let's go into the conversation. Like, where are you from for everybody that doesn't know you yet? Like, who you are and what do you do?
Okay, so my name is Rawan and I'm from Lebanon. Actually, Eliana calls me her Arabian sister, which is funny. And I've been in Spain for around 3 years. I've been working in the humanitarian sector, but recently I started a habit and fitness coaching program. And actually, you met me in one of my workshops on how to boost productivity through your healthy habits that I hosted in Tenerife. And after that, me and you started talking, we got along, and we even started collaborating together. And yeah.
And that's how we met. We met on a beautiful Tenerife, such as a place of connecting a lot of digital nomad and cool people. So the first question is like, tell us about your background, because I know you had a very nice international background and also you moved out of your own country when you were still a teenager, right?
Yeah.
So tell us a little bit about how that worked.
So before, actually, one, as a Lebanese, it's normal for us to live abroad.
That's
like, this is something normal, and there are Lebanese people all over the world. In Brazil, for example, there's more Lebanese that there are in Lebanon. That's like an interesting fact.
Okay.
Yeah, and there are so many Lebanese abroad that haven't even been to Lebanon because they were born abroad, for example.
Okay, that's interesting.
But yeah, I was born in Lebanon, and then for elementary school, we were in Saudi Arabia, in Jeddah, and I went to an international school there.
Okay.
And then I came back to Lebanon for middle school, and then I went for high school to Qatar, where I went to a British school, and then I came back to Lebanon, where I did my undergrad in sociology at the American University of Beirut. And then after that, I went to New York for 6 months and I did an internship with the United Nations. And then after that, I came back to Lebanon and I worked there for a few years until the pandemic hit. I found myself applying for masters and I'm in Spain now.
So how was for you as a young child, like moving to another country, how did that feel? Because I always question this when I see people. When I was little, I remember that one day there were some like kids coming from France and we met them from far. We were so excited. So how did it, like, was it difficult? Because the language is the same, right?
What do you mean the language is the same?
For you, when you went to like Saudi, was the same Arabian?
It was Arabic, but also like our friends were Lebanese, for example, in the same compound. And then at school, we spoke English.
Okay, so you already spoke English when you were elementary?
Yeah,
wow,
yeah,
I'm so
because
impressed as Italians, I would.
Yeah, because in school in Lebanon, we take English, Arabic, and French. And if you go to like an English school, you take your classes in English, and then you take Arabic as a language, and you take French as a third language. But then if you go to a French school, for example, you take all your classes in French, and then you take English and Arabic as languages.
So what were as a child? Because I know many people that nowadays, since the pandemic, you know, now lots of people can work remotely, and they want to move with the family, but they're scared for the kids. So how was for you as a child to
Okay. So I guess when I was little, it didn't really, I don't remember how I felt, but I remember that being in Jeddah in that school in the compound, I have really good memories there.
Okay.
So that was nice. But then for high school, I remember I wasn't very happy when we first moved because I had to leave my friends and just go to a completely different kind of environment. And the first year, I wasn't honestly happy, but then I started enjoying the school more. For example, in my class, I was the only Lebanese girl, so that was interesting, and we had so much activities, and I was exposed to different cultures because, you spend time at your friend's house when you're teenagers, so it opened my eyes a little bit more. And then every time I came back to Lebanon, my mom put a lot of effort of staying in touch with the parents of my friends in Lebanon. So in summer, every time I went back, we'd meet up. So I'm still close to all my friends from high school, from middle school and stuff, and thanks
That's
to my
so
mom
nice.
and my family actually for putting in that effort.
So how do you think that travel abroad impacted your life?
How a lot.
Yeah. On the choices you done as an adult, you know.
Okay.
Like,
yeah. So you mean in high school or after?
all of these experiences abroad, you know, it's quite impressive. You know, I didn't leave Italy since I was 17.
Yeah.
Can you imagine?
Yeah,
But
yeah,
you know,
yeah.
you've already
Okay.
been in so many places.
Yeah, I guess it just made me more aware of different cultures. When I traveled, I also realized that I travel differently than my Lebanese friends would that lived in Lebanon all their life. Like, I wouldn't just travel later on and do the touristy things, but I would go solo traveling. I would hang out with other expats. I would stay like in hostels and I would meet other people. I would enjoy staying with people that are from that country as well. So I learn more about the actual country and the culture instead of just going and seeing the touristy things. I go where the locals go and I have more fun. And I feel that really helped my personality because I'm someone that takes initiative and I feel comfortable anywhere you put me. Like, I can make friends easily, and I think that is a skill that I was able to gain.
And you studied sociology
yeah
as well.
I studied
Who knows
sociology
how, that was
and then I shifted now my career path to like habit and like fitness, and
well,
it all makes sense.
together,
Yeah,
you know, it's all connected. So
yeah.
then when you became an adult, right, why did you decide to move to Europe?
Okay, so actually it was a very random decision coming to Europe. I thought I would apply to masters in Canada when I started looking into programs and doing something related to like the humanitarian sector, so maybe international affairs or something that is more linked to like the career path that I had taken. But given my own journey with weight loss and my fitness journey in general, I found myself looking into masters in like sports psychology and sports training and sports nutrition. It was June 2020, so it was the pandemic, and I was just speaking to a friend, and I was saying, I really feel like I need to leave Lebanon now. Like, something inside of me is telling me you need to leave, you know?
Okay, good. Feeling, guys. Always listen to the feeling. That's true.
And honestly, like, you need to learn how to trust your gut because it's the best decision I've made so far. So when I was thinking, okay, where am I gonna go? I have a very close friend that lives in Barcelona. I have family that's in Canary Islands and Tenerife. My aunt is in Italy as well. So Europe made a little bit more sense, and it's close to Lebanon. So I like, as opposed to going to the States or Canada, which means like one, it's too far, and two, tickets are going to be like way more expensive. So going back home to see my family is going to be something maybe I do once a year, and I didn't want that. Like, family is very important to me. So I was like, okay, Spain is nice. I've been there before. I like the lifestyle and stuff. So let me just check. And it's close to where my family is, but at the same time, I still get to be on my own and experience living alone and having responsibility for my own life and stuff. So first I was looking into Barcelona, but then they needed like a prerequisite that I didn't have. And then I just emailed the university I found in Madrid. And then within 1 week, they called me. I don't know how it happened. They called me and they were like, tell us a little bit about your background and are you available for an interview next week? I was like, okay. And for me, I was just playing around, like, I don't even know.
What were you studying in Madrid those days?
Sports training and nutrition. That's the program I applied to. So then I did the interview a week later and I wasn't taking anything seriously. I was like, I'm just applying because I also had a good job in Lebanon. It was the pandemic. It was very risky for me to move to a different country where I didn't speak the language. I didn't know anyone living in the city I was going. And I had to be completely financially independent because I had to pay like for a lot of things on my own, and it was like a huge risk I was taking. So I was like, I'll apply, and then when the time comes, I'll decide. So then the time came, like I applied, I got in, and I was like, okay, I'll apply for my visa and then I'll decide. Then when I got my visa, I don't know, I like doing lists. So I did like pros and cons and stuff. And there was literally just one pro for me for staying in Lebanon, and that was being next to my mom. That was it, and then the pros for like moving abroad were so, like, the list was long. I still have it, and I actually saw it a few days ago, and I was like, wow, that's so nice, because they all still apply. So then I was like, okay, I'm just gonna save money. So I spent the next month saving money and stuff, and I'll figure it out. And my mom just told me, like, you packed your bags and left. And honestly, yeah, that's her perception. But like, I think it's been the best decision I've made so far because I learned so much. I met like so many amazing people. Even like my relationship with my family got stronger, and like I'm lucky because I get to still go to Lebanon sometimes. My mom comes here. I see my family in Tenerife. My friends all visited me here, so Madrid really became my home. You know.
Oh, that's nice.
Yeah. So
see, guys, you can still make a place abroad like your home, because I think that one of the main objections for people that they are scared to not feel at home, but in reality, at some point, when you find a place in which you can really click, you feel like home, and it's amazing.
Yeah. And something like I really want to say, just to motivate people maybe that are scared to be alone or scared to move abroad. Like, because you're scared, one, I think you should do it. And two, it's going to give you the confidence to start trying new things and to do the things that you maybe have the fear of doing. Because when you take responsibility for your life and when you're faced with a challenge and you're like, okay, what do I have to do? And your family is not there to help you, your friends are not there to help you, you have to figure it out on your own. So you gain the skill of problem solving, honestly. And if you're aware while you're doing this, you start applying it in different aspects of your life and you're like, wow, I can do more things that I want. And
it's a huge self-development school. Like,
yeah.
So then I have another question, because, like, so coming from the Middle East, what was the biggest cultural surprise, because of course, like, we go in big differences.
Yeah, so, okay, two things. Maybe one thing is how, like, in Spain, they wake up super late and they have dinner super late and all that. Like, I'm used to maybe starting my day a little bit earlier and getting to places on time, although there is the stereotype of like Lebanese people that are always late and stuff, but for me it took time adjusting to that. And like going out for dinner at 10 was also like something different. But then the other thing was, like, in Lebanon you live with your family usually, right? So you don't, and a lot of us like grow up where we have like helpers and people doing like the house chores for us, or we don't even do them, like the mom cooks, for example. Like, I don't know, if you have a problem, your family is helping you as well. You don't live on your own, so even sometimes the way you organize your day isn't just, it's not your space. So then coming here, I had to learn how to cook. I had to learn how to like clean my apartment. I had to learn how to manage my time properly in a way that just works for me without having like extra things that I would have at home. And this was mainly it.
Because when we went for dinner, because guys, Lebanese cuisine is my second favorite after Italian, because I'm too Italian to not love Italian.
Lebanese is better.
That's a good conversation.
Healthier.
We could have.
Yeah.
Healthier. Let us know. What do you think? Is a healthier Lebanese or Italian? Let us know in the comments. Yeah. And we were at the Lebanese restaurant the other night, and you guys were saying about how much good is the service in Lebanon. Can you tell us about that? Because that was so interesting.
Yeah, so also something that's good you mentioned that. So in Lebanon and in the Arab region and in the Middle East in general, like hospitality and the service industry is a top priority, and every time you go to a restaurant or a cafe, the waiters are very attentive to you. They're always making sure that you have everything you want. They always come check up on you. They ask you, do you need anything extra? And then let's say they make a mistake with the order, they make sure that they give you something for free, for example. They ask you, how was the quality? Did you enjoy your night? They want to make sure that you had an overall good experience, right? And then here, this is not a priority, honestly. Like sometimes we're sitting at a cafe or at a restaurant and the waiter just comes, takes the order and like disappears, And if you want to order something else or you want to change to the order, you have to like look for him. Hey, hola, ¿dónde estás? Yeah. So that for me took a little while to get used to, but at the end of the day, like, you choose what is a priority for you or not. And then when my friends came to visit, and I got used to it, like, I live here, so it's just something that I got used to. My friends were like, Rawan, like, where's the waiter? I was like, yeah, it's okay. They'll come, you'll learn how to be more chill.
And then I like when you said that if the service wasn't good in Lebanon, you let them know, or like you don't tip them so they understand.
Yeah, or we tip them less than we would usually, but we let them know, actually, like, we didn't like X, Y, and Z. And then usually like the manager would come and he would apologize, for example, and he would ask us questions. And also something in Lebanon that we have, that most restaurants have that here they don't have, is a feedback form. So when they get the bill, actually they give us like an iPad or something, and they're like, okay, can you just fill out these 3 questions? It would really help us understand how we need to improve. A form.
That's impressive.
Yeah.
So guys, because I'm so curious about culture, so let us know in your country, how is the hospitality, and you think you can relate to what Rawan is saying, because in Italy also, I would say it really depends where you go in Italy, because we also like to give a lot of attention to people, and as Italians we can complain so much about like the quality of food, But I would not say that it's so, unless you go to a very nice restaurant, like generally it's more like friendly and casual, Yeah. That's what I would say. Yeah. So now let's talk about real talk. Okay. What were the challenges? Because, we talk about the beauty and the raw truth about living abroad. So what were your challenges?
Challenges coming here. So one, I was doing my master's and I was working at the same time remotely. And like I was living in an area that's a little bit outside the center, close to university, and it was the pandemic. And it was the first time that, like in Lebanon, we live with our family, right? So I don't even pay rent and expenses and stuff. Like I pay for when I go out, for example. So just managing my finances, managing everything on my own at the beginning was difficult. But thanks to this challenge, Queen of Qs, which is my habit and coaching program, emerged and came to life. So I was actually like coming back from the gym, and then I came home and I realized how, okay, like for tomorrow, my coffee station is like already ready. My breakfast and my meals for the next day are already prepared because I meal prep. I was like reading a lot at that stage. So my book was next to my couch where I spend a lot, like where I read at night. My journal was with the pen and stuff. So I go home and I was like, wow, like my environment is all Qs, right? So that is how the name Queen of Qs came about. And then when I was inspired by the name, I was like, you know what? Maybe I should do a program to help women that are busy or that like struggle with consistency and discipline and motivation, for example, build their healthy habits to feel more empowered, to feel more confident, and to be able to do these things just by the simple thing, which is Qs. And it really makes a difference. So that's how Queen of Q started.
And it was amazing because I've been to your workshop and I really liked it.
Yeah, because it works, especially on the days where you really don't feel like it. Like no one feels like going to the gym every single day. No one feels like you this morning. No one feels like eating healthy every single day. No one feels like, I don't know, like doing the journaling frequently and stuff. But once you find a system that works for you, and once you like set out your cues, you'll be able to stay consistent, especially on days where you're not motivated because they're just there. You make it easy. So before I sleep, let me just explain. Before I sleep, I make sure, let's say my gym bag would be packed and my gym clothes are like set out. You can do this for the week or just for the day. Even like your shoes and the socks and everything are just there. So you literally just grab and go. It just makes life a little bit easier.
So you think that eating healthy was the biggest challenge for you those days at the beginning?
Well, I was eating at home, so cooking and stuff was fine. But because like I had a very unhealthy relationship with food, because I used to go on very restrictive diets, and I also, this is something Lebanese families, or I don't know if it's something international, but they would shame you in front of people if you're eating extra.
I told you Italians are terrible.
Like I used to buy chocolate. Instead of buying one, I'd buy, let's say, 3 and hide them in my room and eat them in secret. Because if I was eating in front of my mom or my aunt or like a family or whatever, they're like, only have 1 bite in front of everyone. And as a kid, I'm like, just let me be, you know?
Anxious, anxiety. And
then when in university, like a lot of people go through these things. We go on like juice detoxes, no carbs for I don't know how. So I harmed my metabolism and my body in so many ways, and even my energy levels. Like you need food to work out. And then once I started eating a little bit healthier while still including these, like indulging a little bit from time to time without considering them as cheat meals, just moving on to the next good meal. I started feeling better, and I'm like, okay, like there's more to food than just, eating and whatever, but like food is fuel at the end of the day. And even for my workouts, if I have a good pre-workout meal where I have protein, carbs, a little bit of like healthy fats and stuff, I work out 10 times better than if I just go without eating, So it really affects everything, your skin, your energy levels. So
I know that we're very similar
yeah.
in so many ways. So how was, because the other girls I interviewed, they were saying how much like also socializing, it's not, as I know you're extroverted. So how was for you? Did you feel lonely, or how was that part for you?
So sometimes yes, but I have some other friends that are also living abroad, so we'd go for a walk and have calls. I'd call my family when I felt a little bit of that. But because I moved for a master's, there were other people that were as well. It was the first time they live abroad, for example, or they're away from their families. So on weekends we would put effort, and of course if I meet a Lebanese person, you feel a little bit of familiarity, so you spend more time together. You'd go to like a Lebanese restaurant if you're missing home, for example. So that was good, but I also feel it's important for people in general to learn how to be on their own as well. Like it's an important skill to have. I agree. It's a little bit of both. And the first year the first year or two, I didn't put too much effort meeting random people, and I didn't go out of my way to meet people because I was relying on the masters. But then when I traveled to Tenerife, I started meeting more digital nomads, and I saw how WhatsApp groups and Facebook groups would work. So then when I would come back here, I would go on hikes, for example, on weekends with expat groups, and then I would meet people that are now my friends because you find things in common, and they're also expats on their own that want to make more friends and meet more people. So
because I think this is a key topic for like a lot of also introvert people, you know, like the socializing and getting friends is like the top number one fear, you know, fear of being lonely, you know. So I always like to give people like WhatsApp. And I mean, nowadays social media, also on WhatsApp, there are so many groups.
Yeah. Like I've never been to a bar on my own to like approach people. I always go to planned events, for example, and I have the personality where I feel very comfortable approaching people and starting conversation, and then it just flows however it flows. But for the people who don't have that, so I think one, there's always going to be a person in the place that has that personality, so try finding that person and just being next to him or her, and then they will approach you. Or challenge yourself, get out of your comfort zone, go like, you have nothing to lose, okay? So it can be a simple hi, it can be a simple, so how long have you been in Madrid or in X country you're in? This is a great conversation starter. What do you do here? Are
you from here?
Are you from here?
Madrid or another part of Spain? I was the one that go out on their own.
Okay, a lot of people do that here.
I mean, I do, and when I just moved to London, sometimes I felt like, when I go out to have a beer, and then 5 minutes later I had because sometimes when you see a girl alone, like if you have people around you, someone will start chatting to you.
Yeah, someone will start chatting.
My first friends.
Okay, I never did that before. Maybe I should do this.
It's fun. You go, you enjoy your thing, you know. But at some point, there is a group of friends. If a group of friends see a girl alone, trust me, someone will, you know, and you meet nice people. I always met nice people.
And it's a way to practice the language maybe that you live in. So so now I'm learning Spanish and I'm very comfortable with understanding, but when I speak, I still get a little bit anxious or like I'm a little bit insecure. So sometimes forcing yourself to go out with people that only speak Spanish or prefer speaking Spanish, you're putting yourself in situations where you have to practice it as well.
And practice is everything. I always have a lot of people that ask me, because Italians, like majority of Italians, don't speak another language or they don't speak English, you know, they say, Liana, how do you do it? Practice. Practice. So when it comes on like the best parts of living abroad, what were your top three? I mean, one we already said it because we talked about self-development.
Also, so meeting people. And something that I love about traveling is that you start realizing how similar everyone is. To a certain extent. Like, we're all human at the end of the day. It makes, and a lot of us a lot of people who haven't traveled a lot might have certain stereotypes or generalizations or like walls with other people from other cultures, because they think we're all different because we come from different cultures and stuff. But no, once you start traveling, you realize a lot of us have a little bit so much similarities, and that's something like I really enjoy. Also, something I like love about this city is that it's so vibrant, and actually something that I like about Madrid specifically is that sometimes parts of it remind me of Beirut. of home. And when my friends and some family members came to visit me, I didn't say anything, but I walked in the streets that would remind me of Beirut, and they felt the exact same way.
How nice.
So that was nice. And then something about living abroad is when you go out and you bump into a random Lebanese person that you don't even know, but you can tell that this person is from the same country from how they're dressing or if they speak. You connect right away, and it reminds you of home, and it's such a nice feeling as well. True. This is something I enjoy a lot.
It's funny because majority of us don't like, at the beginning when you leave your country, like, no, I don't want to see it. For example, me, I don't want to see any more Italians. But in reality, what you just said, it's so true. When you even hear your language, you're like, oh, hi, you're from there.
And you get happy. And I think what I love the most is that I got to meet people that have a different lifestyle, and that really taught me and showed me like, oh, you have the power to create any life that you want that works for you. And it gives you more luxury and freedom to decide, okay, I'm gonna take these things that I like from Lebanese culture and from living in Lebanon, and then because I have a lot of friends in Dubai, and then I'm gonna take, okay, I like how the life, some things about the lifestyle there, so I can also take that. But I also like the digital nomads working remotely. You don't see that a lot in Lebanon, you know, so I'm so happy. I'm so happy I was introduced to that, because now I'm like, okay, I can take a little bit from here, a little bit from there, and eventually I want to just have freedom and work from anywhere, anytime, around my friends and family, doing something that I'm so passionate about. And being around people that are already on this journey also motivates you and supports.
No, I agree for many
that is
things.
Something.
So if we want to talk about like, what's the one mistake you made, you know, when it comes to like living abroad, that you can share to maybe help someone to not do the same? It can be like anything related to, you know.
I think one mistake is maybe when I first came, but I think when I first came, I was also focused on like journaling and healing and figuring things out on my own. But I think one thing is to save more money or be more cautious with my money, you know. That's something that I'm trying to prioritize this year as well, because you never know what can happen. You never know, like I recently also lost my job, you know, so I was like, oh my God, like, okay, I can have fun, but you need to learn how to manage your money in a good way. And it comes with practice, it comes with time. And now there are plenty of ways to make extra money and stuff. But yeah, I think prioritizing how to manage my money in a more efficient way, maybe. That's why I started budgeting for a little while, and it really helped. But
So because I'm a big reader, I love sharing books with people. What's your favorite book?
My favorite book. So The Power of Habits, honestly, just because it's a book that really changed my life, and it's the book that helped me develop Queen of Qs because of the Q routine reward habit loop that I learned when I was still working, when I started my 9 to 5. Thanks. So yeah, that's a book I really highly recommend.
Okay, so one last thing. What would you say to someone that is really thinking about it? Maybe someone from Lebanon or Middle East and like still scared but really wants to go. What would you say to them?
Okay, so do it. If it helps, you can break it down into step by step, like what this helps me, but some people are more big picture. But for example, decide, okay, I want to go to X because find your why, okay? Choose a country that you know you might relate to or that you visited before and you felt, oh, I could live here, I'm comfortable here. And then take things step by step. Ask yourself, what are the steps I need to take to get there? Break them down. And then, okay, I already have this. So maybe I'll start with this step first, and so yeah, just do it. Don't overthink it as well. So write these steps, put them in front of your face, and just do it. Like really. And if it's something unplanned, and maybe I inspire someone that's been thinking about this for a while but didn't take the step, like this is your sign to actually apply for something now. Actually, because really I applied in June 2020 and I moved in October 2020.
Yeah,
and it was very short, very fast, and best decision I've made. And my family was against it. Everyone was like, you're crazy, what are you gonna do? And then I just said, maximum, if it doesn't work out, I just come back, you know? Like you just go back if it doesn't work out. But if it works out, great. Like you owe it for yourself to try. So ask yourself, like, do you really want to be an adult that goes like, oh, I wish I did this when I was younger? True. No. And when you're young, in your 20s, before having like much more responsibility, before you're having kids, before all of that, you owe it to yourself to give yourself a chance to explore life, you know? So yeah, I could go on and on.
Do it, just do it. Yeah. So where can people find you?
So on my Instagram, on Queen of Qs, that's the Instagram. And then also on my website, if you want to learn more about my programs, www.queenofqs.com. We'll put everything,
I'll put everything
below. But that's it.
So thank you so much.
Thank you.
Guys, if you have any question for Rawan, just contact her on, leave it in the comments and let us know. We like all the questions that I've asked you earlier, and if you like the video.
Bye.